Hello, I'm Michael Venus, and I'm at Centre Never Apart with Suzanne MacRury, who is part of the summer exhibition vernissage with her show Shiny. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Shiny?
It's kind of shiny. It's meant to create a dialogue about consumerism and the degradation of our landscape, our environment, what we do with consumerism, what the cost is, the animal impact, the just general destruction that we're causing. I hope to bring life back to these items that I'm showing, but portraying a story also of their history and past. So it's really more of a visual thing, but it's a literal translation of, here's these skulls, they died, we destroyed them, this is what we're left with. In bags.
Well, now let's talk about the skulls and the process that went into creating them.
The skulls, okay, so first off, I'm a vegetarian, pretty much vegan. And the skulls, I think, are like perfect things in nature, and I've always loved them. I just always revered them. I thought they were just so beautiful and naturally perfect. And so I started collecting skulls again. I did that 20 years ago. I started collecting again, and then I started applying my abstract painting technique to the skulls and using resin. And then I was like, wow, like I feel like I'm revering them in some way and turning them to icons or statues or trophy. Not a trophy. Don't say trophy, but you know what I mean. Like that, putting them on a pedestal in themselves, and to make them beautiful as icons would be. And that was a bit of an oxymoron for a lot of people. They're like, what do you mean? You're a vegetarian, you're painting skulls. And I just thought it was like paying tribute to like the earth and our environment and the animals, that are here that we're destroying, their natural habitat and whatever else. And then this whole idea about doing an expose of consumerism and shopping and high-end price tags and luxury items and gold and shiny, like this is like the typical crow story. We need to have this and consume this and eat this and whatever, and here's our path of destruction, and who gives a what's left.
It is a bit of a departure from your other work, which is paintings. Let's
Yes.
talk about the paintings and how that sort of evolved into this.
My paintings, I actually don't see a huge divide. It's very weird because I'm an abstract painter. The paintings are exactly the same, but on a skull. So I use the same techniques and everything, and I actually just realized I have a current exhibition going on, and I feel like the skulls have made my paintings more beautiful and more soft, more pretty. Whereas I feel like the abstract style I've always carried on, I was like, oh, well, now I'm going to do it on skulls. And so I just applied my same technique to skulls, and that's what happened. But then I feel like in the end result was, oh, it's impacted also my painting style and made them more beautiful, in my mind, that is. But I'm still an abstract painter, just the medium is different.
So tell us about how you got into being a painter.
I was always an artist, actually. Yeah, always. My mom encouraged me to just be myself. I'm from Vancouver. I'm total hippie upbringing. My mom's like, yeah, you can pick your own clothes, you can cut your hair, you can do whatever you want. And she still says that. And so the painting thing was not actually a natural possession. I used to just draw everything, and I used to draw bones. I used to collect bones and draw them, but literally. And then I went to Emily Carr and took the painting program, which was a disaster in itself because I was like, what do you mean you have to tell me how to paint this thing? Because I don't know what you're talking about now. Like, is this really how we're supposed to do it? Because I do it the opposite. But I still kept painting. But I did it my own way.
So you left school.
I did leave school, yes. I'm one of the Emily Carr dropout kids, where there's a group of us that exist in the outer world. But I feel like I would be in the same place, whether I'd completed Emily Carr or not and had a bachelor or a master's or whatever, a BFA, MFA. I feel like I would still be in the exact same place I was meant to be, which is now under airplanes flying.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the career highlights, because you've shown in many different cities within Canada.
Her highlights. When I got discovered by a like 6 degree of separation family friend at a wedding, and we were the outcasts, and it was me and my wife and her and her husband, and we're like, how long have you been married? She's like, how long have you been married? And she was a buyer for the AGO and an art selector for the AGO, and she came to see my work at a place where I worked and was like, we really would like your stuff in the AGO. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you work there? Like, I didn't know anything about her, and she didn't profess her career, and which was great. And I felt like there was a little bit of validation, because she saw the stuff, and it wasn't about me and my amazing personality. It was more about my art.
Maybe just a little about the personality.
That was definitely a highlight.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Also, I had an epiphany moment actually in Montreal here, when I had a small skull show in a group show, and I was standing behind people that criticized the skulls and said, how's this fucking art? Like, is this art? And I was standing there, and I was super offended and upset in the moment. And I was like, they're like, what even is this? And I'm like, well, that's a coyote, that's a wolf, that's a whatever. And I'm going to, oh yeah, I was like, that's this. And I'm going to go outside right now and punch something. But I actually thought about it later. I'm like, actually, that's like the biggest compliment I could ever have gotten, because it really questions what is art and who is to say what art is, and how do you display it? How do you criticize it? How do you make it? That is art.
Right.
I don't know. And that's the politics of art. And that's why this first installation to me is really like me coming into my own, doing an installation, which I never thought I would do.
Right.
I really didn't understand installations. I was like, what is it really? What does that mean? And how do you make money? You know what I mean? I'm like, I kind of get it, but I really didn't think that I could have an idea that was substantial enough to be an installation. And then I was like, I think I have a really good idea. I think this is important. And I actually totally believe this. Like, this is my life.
Yeah.
And then I told you, and you're like, of course, girl.
What do you hope that people take away from this show?
Skulls. Definitely skulls. Buy skulls. No, I think like it's just I want to create a dialogue about consumerism and about our environment, because those are things I really care about. It's why I'm a vegetarian/vegan. Our impact on this earth and our beautiful country, and just like relishing in our beauty. And there's so many different commentary. I could go off on 5 stories about this show to me, and just to take note. I feel like our generation is taking note, and it's just in us, you know. But also my famous quote, like, don't get me wrong, this is still for sale.
Well, I mean, with animal race, especially like luxury goods, you know, people don't think about what it actually is.
But even consuming meat, like, I think honestly, like, if we all had to kill our dinner, would you eat that? Well, you're a vegetarian, so you're a vegan. You wouldn't do that.
Why does it fit into Never Apart?
Because Never Apart is open to like inclusiveness in all different veins of gay culture, or gay, bisexual, transgendered culture, our environment. We're raising awareness for multi-issues. Just having an awareness, I feel like that's what Never Apart is causing awareness. And also, you know, shining a star on little gay artists, you know.
What do you love most about Never Apart? We've now celebrated a year. You've been involved since the beginning, actually.
I feel like in Never Apart, I feel like when I come in the door, I like feel like, hey guys, I'm in my living room. That's how I feel about Never Apart. It's like my little gay village in a building, and it has cool art and dialogue and education and new films and things that I wouldn't have seen somewhere else, and I love that. Cool. Yeah, I come here to learn new things and like meet new people, but I also feel like, hey, you're sitting on my couch, you know? Like, I love that.
You were involved in one of our first exhibitions, the Color by Icons exhibit. Why don't you talk about the icon and what you did with that portrait?
Her name was Sally Ride. She's like the first gay astronaut for NASA. Sadly, she's passed away now. she was totally out, not in the beginning, but she was out afterwards. And I feel like my depiction of her coloring page was very dark and shaded because she had to kind of hide herself. And then she came out. So I did very iridescent paint underneath pencil drawing. So it was very dark, but there was this like pink undertone and this like iridescent, shiny beautifulness coming out that was always there, but she couldn't let it out because she was like working for the man. But she did amazing things for space and research and science in the US. But I loved doing that project. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But then the more I learned about her, I was like totally in awe of what her life and career had been and how, how grateful we are to be not so hidden and protected. I don't know.
2016.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, what does the future hold for you?
Well, I think I'm going to go to Japan. I'm going to wear flip-flops for a while. That's like definite happening.
And art-wise?
I'm going to Japan. I'm going to wear flip-flops.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that. Where can people learn more about you?
I have a website. It's my name, SuzanneMacRury.com. And also you can call me. I'm like online.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Never Apart.